This was really funny as well. Scoop, this is from jns.org. The Israel planning chief of the Joint Chief of Staffs, Colonel Nathan McCormack, believes that Israel is a death cult, America's worst ally, and seeks to cleanse Eretz Israel of ethnic Palestinians, according to a semi-anonymous X account. Experts told me his post revealing travel, conversations with foreign partners, and anti-Israel rants were gobsmacking, dangerous, out of place in a Pentagon that works so closely with Israel and a potential foreign intelligence threat. Now, the irony about all of this is that this is exactly you. There are people of different minds in the national security apparatus, as well as amongst the generals, right? There are people who also absolutely despise Israel for understandable reasons. Now, of course, that doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things because we know who won out under the Brandon leadership. We know which side of the State Department won the ideological battle. The side that said we have to restrain Israel for our own and for Israel's own security purposes lost. Many of them actually openly resigned in the process. This guy seemingly is one of the generals that was removed from their position at the Joint Chiefs of Staff for calling Israel a death cult and saying America is acting as an Israel proxy. No diversity of opinion is allowed in the Trump administration. If you say something against Israel, you should be court-martialed and shot for treason. Are you sure your stutters are your ISP and not your CPU? I think that they are my ISP. Hasanabi head in the military. This guy probably thinks I'm an agent of Iran or an agent of anti-American interests and would probably shoot me. That doesn't change the reality that he also recognizes Israel as a hostile entity to American interests. Okay? He is not a Hasanabi head. He's just someone who understands Israel's volatility and Israel's violent tendencies that end up causing harm to the American project of dominance in the region in the long run. That's it. And they got him. They got us. Yeah. Chief Israel planner at Pentagon bashes Jewish state publicly and extensively, according to JNS. I saw some of his tweets. They're very funny. Colonel Nathan McCormack, the Levant and Egypt branch chief at the Joint Chiefs of Staff at J5's Planning Directorate, what are you doing? Place. Has referred publicly to Netanyahu and his Judeo-supremacist cronies, to Washington having overwhelmingly enabled Israel's bad behavior, and to pro-Israel activists in the United States prioritizing support for Israel over our actual foreign interests. Literally every single thing he said is correct. No notes whatsoever. And having this kind of attitude is, if I was a guy invested in defending the American State Department, I would welcome this kind of division within the American State Department, because someone who is of sound mind and a decent critical thinking skills, who hasn't been hit with the John Fetterman ray, is probably going to be a valuable asset. It's always good. It's always good to have someone who is showcasing a difference in opinion here. But of course, no difference in opinion is allowed in the American State Department as of the Brandon administration. JNS has learned that McCormack, who according to, this is straight up for the record, okay, this is a foreign nation openly engaging in direct acts of change in the ranks within the American State Department apparatus. They are directly going, hey, you can't have this person in this position of power because they're going against what we want, even if their perspective is ultimately in defense of America's interest in the region. That is crazy. Not even the State Department, the military. The Western states go to great lengths to avoid criticism of Israel, much of the Holocaust guilt, McCormack wrote on social media in April. Israel's actions over decades have prompted the accusations of ethnic cleansing and genocide. You know what's really funny about this, by the way? This might be the least anti-Semitic general in the armed forces. Like, That is the hilarious situation. There are generals who are incredibly on board with Israel and the death cult that Israel is, that are also simultaneously the most anti-Semitic you ever encountered. But of course, from Israel's perspective, that is negligible. That doesn't matter how anti-Semitic they might be. I mean, one of the most famous, what was the guy? Was it? It wasn't Patton, right? Who was the one? Who was the general that said we fought the? Yeah, Patton. I think it was Patton who said we fought the wrong guys in World War II. Colonel Patton, like Colonel, not General. Netanyahu and his Judeo-supremacist cronies are determined to prolong the conflict for their own goals, either to remain in power or to annex the land, he wrote on social media in May. I've lately been considering whether we might be Israel's proxy and not realized it yet. Our worst ally, in air quotes. We get literally nothing out of the partnership, in air quotes, other than the enmity of millions of people in the Middle East, Africa, and Asia. The U.S. has not been an honest broker, he wrote in June 2024. We have overwhelmingly enabled Israel's bad behavior. General Patton, Colonel McCormack. Apologies for getting the ranks confused. In one post replying to the idea of Gaza's potentially finding refuge outside the Gaza Strip, McCormack wrote that Israel wants to expel them and cleanse Eretz Israel of ethnic Palestinians. On October 11, 2023, 5 days after Hamas' terror attack, McCormack wrote that Israel has an absolute right to respond militarily and civilians may legally be caught in the crossfire, but that Israel's responses always, not hyperbole, disproportionately target Palestinian civilians. I wonder why he made that assessment. Perhaps it's because he has eyes and a functioning brain. You literally believe any media you read? Wait, what? Bro, how much have you had? You are gurning? Wait, what's the lie here? This guy got removed from his position after this article came out. What are you talking about? What? Also, JNS is a propaganda outlet for Israel, is pro-Israeli media. It's one of the outlets that routinely churns out pro-Israeli propaganda. Despite some attempts to anonymize his account, McCormack has repeatedly revealed his name and job title on the platform and has posted photos of himself that match his LinkedIn profile. That includes his uniform name tag. JNS saw a comment from Pentagon and McCormack. How so? What data? This is literally what I do for work every day, he wrote to someone in May. I'm the Joint Staff J5 Israel branch chief. I mean, this dude had bad OPSEC. All I'm saying is he did have very bad OPSEC. Okay, you can't be posting like you're in a War Thunder forum. Okay. On August 3rd, he posted a photo of a meritorious service medal certificate issued to Lieutenant Colonel Nathan E. McCormack on June 1st, 2022. He has since been promoted to full colonel. The account is now yeeted, obviously. Shoot, I just found an MSM in a box of office supplies in the basement. I'm pretty sure it's already in my OMPF, though. Doors open. I can see him being in a War Thunder forum leaking these details as well. Other posts include descriptions of his conversations with generals in the Israel Defense Forces, briefings from Israel's coordinator for humanitarian aid in the Gaza, and aborted plans to send emails over the Pentagon's secret internet protocol router network for sharing classified information. A DoD contractor who has interacted with McCormack described the postings as dangerous. This is the kind of bitter oversharing I'd expect from someone who doesn't know better, the contractor said. But at his level and under his own name and likeness, it's mind-boggling. We have enough OPSEC and public perception problems as it is. OPSEC refers to Operation Security. The contractor raised the question whether McCormack's personal politics influenced the advice his team provides to senior leaders. If this is what he's publicly sharing, who knows what he's saying behind closed doors, the contractor said. Probably less significant and less severe takes about Israel out of fears that he won't be promoted further. So, yeah, I think this was his outlet to be like, these guys suck. Anyway, I wonder who this contractor is. A DoD contractor. Dude, I swear to God, this is just basically foreign intelligence working with a foreign propaganda outlet to rip through the ranks of the American military in an effort to squash out any sort of dissent. Here are some of his other hit tweets, by the way. It's really funny. Sure, anti-Semites say Israel because it's a Jewish ethno state, but plenty of non-anti Semitic people, including some American Jews, say it because of Israel's policies and politics. I guess I'd ask, why do you think saying Israel is anti Semitic? This is Andrew Bernard posting this to show how anti Semitic this guy is or how much of a danger he presents. Yep. The U.S. has not been an honest broker. We have overwhelmingly enabled Israel's bad behavior. But Netanyahu and his Judeo-supremacist cronies are determined to prolong the conflict for their own goals, either to remain in power or to annex the land. History of anti-Semitism. What is that? This is a retweet of Abir Khatib. All below, campaign to unseat the queen. She won. This is, of course, Francesca Albanese, who Israel sees as like the number one enemy of Israel, who is a fantastic orator. Francesca Albanese, Human Rights Council official with a history of anti-Semitism, claims Times of Israel, can remain in office until 2028 after complaints against her are dismissed. Yeah. So check this one. It's so sad. What is this? I don't know what that is. Come on. Stop sending me fucking unverified stuff, unsubstantiated stuff. Anyway,